Hey, crypto heads, it's the Goose with the Cryptic Paranormal Show. Everybody's off mute. I did it right for a change. We're all just not sitting here talking mute. Nobody can hear us. We're, but we're awesome. We're here. Welcome to the show tonight, everybody. As usual, I'm your host, the Goose. D Nice is here in the house. How are you doing, D Nice?
Great. I brought my tissues. I'm ready for tonight's show.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, we love our fur babies, so it's going to be a tearjerker. Heisenberg, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Hanging in there, buddy. This is like the pinnacle of the week. Every week has been its own crazy weirdness, so it's nice. It's like a getaway. It's a release to do the show, so I'm always happy to be here on Thursday night. And it's funny. I get home from work and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so tired. I don't know, but it's like as soon as the show is about to start, just like snap.
Right.
It's game time. I'm into it. Let's do this thing.
Same here.
What's up, Tim Rehan? What's up, buddy? So we got a special guest tonight. Let's just get right into it. Been following him on Facebook for a while. He does amazing work. Great guy in the paranormal. And does wonderful work for fundraising for rescue animals. Mr. Tim MAILE. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me. I'm having a hard time not looking at my face on the screen here. So if you see me staring at myself, it's
fine.
But yeah, I'm excited to do this. I always love getting the opportunity to talk a little about what we do.
That's awesome, man. So we're going to get into the potographs for pooches because, all three of us have animals. We've always had animals. We love our fur babies to death. Every animal that I've owned has been a rescue situation. I know Mike has been as well. I know Denise has animals she absolutely adores. But we're going to start with the paranormal. So I always ask everybody when they come on the show what their origin story is, like what got you hooked on this weird stuff that we do, this ghost hunting, paranormal investigation stuff.
Yeah, we'll save the crying for later.
Yeah.
My story is a little bit different. I guess I got to go back to when I was 8 years old. My dad was in a really bad accident at my school. Ended up getting hit by a construction vehicle while he was putting out cones to end the day. He was in a coma for 6.5 years and passed away from that when I was 15. And I don't know how long he was trying to let me know, hey, I'm here, because I don't think I was ready for it. But I bought a house here in Oshkosh, Wisconsin in 2006. And I had all these things happening. And I'm a pretty big dude. And I called my mom. I didn't know what was happening, and had never dealt with anything with paranormal before. And the first spirit that I dealt with was my dad, and it's not to sound corny, but it's been a beautiful journey since then.
That's amazing. Cool. That's an interesting story. It's a little bit different than I think most of us have experienced. Well, most of us have had the scary stuff.
It blew me at the time. I was not so cool, calm, and collected. I remember the first conversation I had with my mom, and I said, there's footsteps going from bedroom to bedroom upstairs. What the hell is happening? And I remember my mother saying, well, go find out what it is. Go look. And I used some words that you should never use on your mother. I wasn't ready for that. But years later, and talking with a very good friend of mine, psychic medium Scotty Rorick, he managed to connect me with my dad, and my dad basically gave him messages of things that only I knew that happened in the home, verifying that it was him. And here we are. We started in 2008. Here we are, 2021. Been doing this for 13 years, and helping as many families as we can. And along the way, all of a sudden, I started getting opportunities to speak at conventions and do radio shows and a little bit of TV. And I never imagined my life was going to be like this, but I'm enjoying the ride.
That's awesome. And not everybody gets that experience, but how did your team Fox Cities Paranormal come about? Is it a group of people you're friends with, or is it just people with like-minded curiosity that wanted to get together and check the stuff out?
What happened was in 2006 was when the activity started. 2007, I had come across the show Ghost Hunters just because I'm a big wrestling fan, and they happened to have wrestling on Sci-Fi Channel at the time, and they had a commercial, and then everything aligned. And so I started watching Ghost Hunters, realized that they got teams in my area, tried to contact them, and nobody got back to me. And it really forced me to educate myself, not because I wanted to form a team, but because I just bought a house. I had a 30-year mortgage, So, I wanted to educate myself and kind of get comfortable with, my own situation. And I would say late 2007, I kind of started talking to some friends, and I said, if I'm not getting answers, there's got to be other families out there that aren't either. So started Fox City's paranormal team, very minimal at the beginning, didn't have any goals, just wanted to help as many families as we could. Started with 2 friends and then asked a guy from work because we needed 4. That was the thought process behind it. And
that even number, huh?
That guy happened to be Todd Arnold, and 13 years later, Todd and I are still running the team. So
that's awesome.
Stupid reason for adding somebody, but best accident ever. Todd's become a brother, and like I said, here we are 13 years later, and it's crazy the things that I've been able to do because of the paranormal field.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you say you help you like helping people out, or do you guys mostly focus on residential cases then, it sounds like? Or
it's mostly residential cases. I'm loosening up as I get older, I hope.
Yeah.
We enjoy fun stuff once in a while too. Sometimes I get lost in the grumpy old man of the paranormal persona. Not because I don't like people, but because I care so much about what we do. And it used to really bother me when I would see people doing things for shock value and jokes. And I'd be like, because this field has given me so much, I feel like I have to give back to it.
Yeah.
And, for a while there, it was like, get off my lawn. And I'm trying to loosen up a little bit with that and understand that, with the important stuff and helping families, it's not a bad thing to have fun once in a while either.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. I don't think we would be doing this if we didn't have fun. I mean, our team is different than most, I believe. Don't you think, Mike?
Yeah.
It's like super laid back family. I mean, we have a good time, and actually, a lot of some of the greatest experiences we've had was when we're not actually trying to interact with spirit. We're just talking amongst ourselves, or just hanging out, being quiet, doing something, and there it is. It's because it's like when you least expect it, there it is. And
we're just picking on Ray. That's when the stuff starts going.
Yeah. Yelling at me to wake up and stop snoring, that type of thing. Because I'm the old man who starts falling asleep at 10:30.
I can relate to that. I went through a stretch where I was working 12-hour days and then trying to do investigations at night. And about 11 o'clock at night, Todd would be elbowing me, saying, "Hey, Tim, you're sleeping." I'd be like, "No, I'm not." Hey, listen back to the audio, and there I am snoring.
Well, it doesn't help. It's dark. It's quiet. You're sitting down. It's nap time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I just thought, especially that situation. I think we're the worst experience with that for everybody was when we were at Waverly Hills, of all places. The supposedly most haunted building in the United States of America. We're in the most haunted room of that building, and I'm just sitting back snoozing because it's like, it was actually really cold that night. I think we were all pretty bundled up, and I just found a chair, and I don't know, I guess I got a little too comfortable. They were doing a silent vigil EVP session, and I just, next thing I know, they're laughing hysterically and telling me to wake up. I was the one causing all the EVPs, I guess. I don't know.
I think Kate fell asleep at Prospect Place. She just laid down on the couch.
Yeah. Just out. I mean, if you're gonna fall asleep, you gotta fall asleep.
Right.
Yeah. That's why I've always kind of wondered why we do this at night sometimes. Why is it always got to be at night? Why can't we do it in the middle of the day?
We do this at noon.
Right. About 10 o'clock when the cup of coffee that I had hit starts hitting. And we got a lot of people. Hello from Bearded Paranormal. Thank you guys all for signing in. If you guys have any questions for Tim, shoot them out to us. We'll try to do our best to convey those questions to him. So I guess what was probably the most memorable experience you've had as an investigator? We know how you told us how you got into it, but besides that, like in a residential case or something, have you ever come across something that you consider like a game changer for you?
The game changer for me is pretty easy to pinpoint.
Yeah.
We were only about 2 years into this, and we got an investigation in a small town about an hour away from me. A client got a hold of me. Kids are seeing a little boy, an older man, teenage son's being pulled out of the bed by his ankles.
Oh, wow.
Here I am 2 years into this, and I'm like, all right, we got this, and walk into it going, right. I hope you got this. We took the team in there, and that first night we got an EVP that just flatly said murder.
Holy crap!
We had heard rumors of what happened in the home, but hadn't verified anything yet. We went back a second time, and in the meantime, in this very small town, the client went to their local library and found a newspaper clipping about a murder that happened in the home in 1967.
Wow.
A 2-year-old boy was had some horrible things done to him and murdered in the home by his foster father.
Jeez.
And we were dealing with the spirit of a 2-year-old boy.
Wow.
And during the course of that investigation we worked on that case for 2 years. And during the course of that investigation, we communicated with the little boy. He told us what his name was on an EVP. We were able to speak directly with him through transmediumship with Scotty Rourke.
Oh, wow.
I used to tell that story during interviews, and I said, if I wasn't in the room with Scotty, I would have called BS on it myself.
Yeah.
Right.
But he knew so many things that we didn't tell him a thing going into it.
Yeah, right.
And he knew so many details of the investigations that we had done.
Mm-hmm.
It can't be coincidence, if you're talking about the course of hours and hours, and with Scotty's help, we managed to move this little boy on, and that investigation actually ended up being featured on Paranormal Witness way back in 2013.
Okay. Yeah.
Nice.
So, almost 8 years ago, I was relevant.
I'm still waiting for my time, brother.
But it was a really rewarding experience. That investigation changed me, not only as an investigator, but as a person. It sounds hokey, but it really made me care about other things, than myself.
Yeah.
Right.
And realize just how important what we do can be.
Right.
And a heck of an investigation. The memories from it brought our team together. You asked how we put our team together. In the beginning, it was friends, and then we would just put out a post and say, hey, we're looking for new members. We'd interview people. People kind of rotate through the team, depending on family and job and all that other stuff. And we got 11 people on the team, which is big.
Yeah.
But the reason is, I may get a call tonight saying, hey, I need you here Saturday. And if 3 of those 11 people can make it, then we can help that family.
Sure.
So, that was the case with this small town is, hey, we need you in here this weekend. And we were able to pull it together. And that started in 2010. Here we are 11 years later. And that family has become like family to me. We've kept in touch, and, it's a great thing. I've watched their kids get old, which makes me old.
Yeah.
So that part of it's not great, but when we started on that case, their kids were, they had a teenage boy, and then kids that I think were between like 6 and 10 years old, maybe. So here we are, and they're all grown and out of the house. Yeah. So I've been around too long.
Yeah. I mean, we got the same thing going on in our group. I mean, it seems just like yesterday, a little Lincoln was a little thing, right, Mike?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, my gosh, you used to play hide and seek with my daughter Piper when she was little. going through the office that you and Kim worked at.
Yep.
And now here she is, 13, and doesn't want to talk to anybody. She's shut off, just hemming and hawing because the world sucks, right? When you're 13.
Yeah.
He's almost 2 and he doesn't want to talk to anybody.
We got a question from our sister from another Mr. Ashley Storm, our good
Ashley.
friend. We love you, Ash.
Oop.
Should I say it exactly how she wrote it?
Yeah, do it.
Yeah.
Would you ask about his interactions with animal spirits? Please and thank you.
I will ask you. I will answer you, I guess.
Nice. I like it.
So animal spirits, a lot of that I'll save for when we talk about potographs.
Okay.
Because I'll save all the crying for one specific area of the show.
That'll keep them on.
Pre-potographs, we had dealt with animal spirits, specifically dogs, in a few homes. And I mean, I've been a dog guy for a while, so it's pretty special when you get that interaction. It hasn't happened very often, but it's happened more now that Murray's gone.
Yeah.
And I'm cool with that. He can keep doing it, but as far as on investigations, I believe once in a home in Green Bay, we saw like a white husky type dog walk across the floor in the basement. That was very early. I think we'd only been doing this for like a year. So anything that happened, we were just staring off into the distance going, holy crap, I can't believe this is happening.
Yeah, right.
But as you get, more experienced in this field, you kind of turn into that 13-year-old girl where nothing impresses you anymore.
Yeah.
And,
yeah.
if that happened now, we'd all be sitting in the basement going, oh, cool.
Yeah.
Did you hear that? Yeah. No. Write that in the notebook. Okay.
Yeah. Told us to go home. Sweet. All right.
Let's see. We've got Amanda Lewis with a question. Oh, yeah, of course. We always get that one from Amanda, right? Not sure if this topic was asked yet, but what are your thoughts on orbs? LOL.
I'll just say LOL too. Unless it's physical and right in front of my face and not in a photo or a video.
Yep.
I really don't want to waste my time on it because 99 times out of 100, it's going to turn out to be dust, bugs, whatever. So it's one of those things that that's a very hot topic. There's probably folks listening right now that are like, that asshole Tim. How dare you dismiss my orbs?
There's this one lady on Facebook that she has friended me and unfriended me probably about 6 or 7 times. And every time she friends me, she sends me these pictures, the same pictures every time of these orbs. But here's the thing. They're outside. They're under a light. And she's telling, oh, look at all these portals and all these spirit orbs flying around. I'm like, it looks like you're hanging outside on a summer night with a bunch of flies or mosquitoes flying around you.
Right.
Oh, no. And then she'll unfriend me. And then about a month later, she'll friend me again and show me that. Look at what I got.
Then she posted drive it into your brain. All right, those are orbs.
I saw she posted them the other day. I'm like, just okay. They're orbs. They're demons. They're whatever you want them to be. I mean, in the end, if that's what you believe, then by all means, believe what you want. But
we used to go live on the seminary. We'd have like a live stream going just to the building, and the flashlight tour would come through and all the people watching the live stream would go, oh my gosh, they kicked up so many spirits. They really stirred things up. And I'm like, dude, we're volunteers. We don't dust. Like it's dust. People moved and shook things up. Like it's not, it's like if we had that many spirits, we wouldn't even be able to go in the building. Like you can't look at that screen and see thousands of orbs and think that it's spirits. That would just be, that's not.
Yeah.
It's not that haunted.
But like Tim was saying though, I've been in locations like Kent Stage Theater, Madison Seminary. One big one was the Prospect Place. I saw a huge light just appear in front of me, and I could see that it was between me and the wall.
Right.
And I didn't say anything because obviously my mind goes straight to it was just like a car driving by or something. And then somebody later said they saw the same thing, and I'm like, okay, though that's kind of validation because it was stationary, and it was definitely I felt like a spirit light because I felt it like I felt that like charge you get, when you have an experience. And yeah, I don't know, but like Tim said, I definitely agree with him. If you physically see a spirit light,
right,
then that is something. But
yeah,
99% of the crap on camera is, except for that 1% that we got at the Paranormal weekend.
Yeah. You know what? I did see one though. I did see one at the seminary where it actually came out of one of the doors in the asylum, made a 90-degree turn, went down the hallway, and then turned into another room. So I'm like, that one's a little unexplainable, but most of the time.
I mean, you never know. Yeah, but the one that lady showed us, and it was funny because she showed Mike first, and he sent her to me. I'm like, great. She's like, well, I talked to your
that's a good friend.
Yeah, I talked to your buddy, and I got these.
I do it all the time.
I got these pictures of orbs I want you to check out. He told me to come see you. I'm like, but I started looking at them, and they're from the National Cemetery in Washington, D.C. A lot of them were just taken by cell phones during the day by several different students, and they were these like little blue, almost flamey looking lights that were. It just didn't make any sense. Like I could not in my mind think of like what it could be, and the fact that they were from different students, and a lot of them were just like, it's not even like they were on graves or around a grave. They're like on walkways and under trees, and just it reminded me of like the spirit elementals, like in Brave, the little wisps, the little blue spirit things that guided her to the witch's house. It was that type of thing, and I told her I don't know how to explain this. Definitely, probably the most interesting orb pictures I've ever seen, but I don't know. But that was like the 1% right there.
Yeah.
The only time I looked.
I don't know is a safer answer than no.
Yeah,
that won't get you. That won't get you hate mail.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
It's hard too because you don't want to tell people like you're like I don't know. I just like, oh, that's cool. Like that's my response. Oh, that's cool.
I usually like that. That's very interesting, but I would think it's probably more like contamination type stuff. But
yeah, like I don't want to be mean about it, but like I don't want to look at the same 20 pictures of orbs and I don't know. It's a tough one.
I remember the very first paranormal convention I went to before I even started this thing. It was actually where I met the guy who ran the first group that I was with. There was a woman who had a whole display of nothing but orb pictures. And at that time, I'm like thinking, no, that's pretty sweet. Look at all these ghost pictures she's got. And I'm like, and I started learning a little bit. I'm like, that's kind of a waste of a table, but you go, girl.
Do you?
Okay. We're done with orbs. Okay.
Okay, no more. Now you got Uncle Tony all riled up.
Yeah, now we got Uncle Tony riled up. We can't have that.
Yeah, that was definitely a hot topic when Madison was going live all the time. It was rough. Tony used to just get off the live feeds all the time, and he'd be like, "I can't do it anymore. I can't do these people anymore."
Trying to scroll through here. Don't get Tony started. Brian Baum wanted to know what is the most haunted location you've ever visited or investigated.
We don't do many of the classic haunted locations, but Dan Class is a good friend of mine. Last year we rented out the Hinsdale house for a weekend.
Nice.
And that place is everything it's rumored to be.
Yeah.
It was definitely the most activity we've had, and the three of us staying in there for the weekend. Got there Friday afternoon, left Saturday or Sunday morning, and when you leave there, you're pretty certain that there's something on the other side. Hinsdale's incredible. I agree with you, Brian. But otherwise, as far as activity in a home, the most we've had is probably that house I was talking about, just a little while ago. But Most of the homes, most of the homes we go into, relatively mild. They want to know if it's Grandpa Joe or Aunt Edna or stuff like that. One of the other places that we've been that has been pretty active, the museum here in Oshkosh Public Museum had us in. They wanted to meet with us and do a paranormal exhibit, and this was years ago.
Yeah.
So we got together with them and spoke with them and created a relationship, and they got a hold of us and asked us if they could shadow us if we did an investigation there. And they didn't have any claims. They didn't have any claims, and then all of a sudden we got like 7 or 8 pieces of audio from the first night.
Nice.
And our team was, I sound like I'm tooting my own horn here, but we were responsible for a spirit getting his uniform on display. He made it very clear. Made it very clear the second time we were there that his uniform was in storage and it needed to be on display. Lieutenant Edgar Dunham is his name, and that was another pretty cool moment here in the paranormal. And cool. Then 2 years ago, they actually went through with the paranormal exhibit. So Fox City's paranormal team was plastered all over Oshkosh Public Museum, which was another.
That's super cool.
Another thing I never thought would happen on a list of things that have happened in my life now that I never thought would happen. That was pretty amazing.
That's is awesome. Cool. I love being able to work with the community with what we do and share what we do. I know Mike and I with Dark Alley, we've had the opportunity to do that with a couple different historical societies. We ran ghost hunts for Barberton Historical Society here in Ohio, and we work in the town that I grew up in, Shalersville, Ohio. We work with a historical society there. We've had a couple fundraisers, and we don't keep anything. Everything goes right to them. But it's amazing the people that come out and are interested in this stuff. It's like, even some of the elders from the community come out and are, people that I would look at in a normal day and say, you probably don't believe in ghosts. You probably think I'm like the nuts, the crazy guy, right? They're like, no, we have all these questions. I've had all this stuff at my old house, and it's really cool stuff. I love it.
Doing those events in the town I live in, gets you in touch with people that may need you, first of all.
Yeah, right.
Know you existed. And secondly, you get people there that are, I'm a skeptic, prove me wrong. You get some of your best questions from those people though.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because they have thought through those questions and they want to trip you up.
Yeah.
And then once they realize, oh crap, he knows what he's talking about. Then you can have a conversation. But a new set of eyes or a new set of ears is always helpful. You can learn something from anybody. And like I said, some of the best questions I've gotten are from people that are just there to try to prove me wrong or prove Todd wrong or whoever may be with me at the time. So those events are a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I gotta say something real quick.
Yeah.
I wish I lived in a town called Oshkosh.
God, I've been thinking that every time he says that.
I know, I couldn't take it anymore.
I actually live in the town, the Oshkosh Bagosh, the coveralls, and it's all that the EAA fly-in, which is cool for people that come in from out of town. But when you have planes flying over your house for 7 days, it gets a little. It was the only good thing about COVID last year is they had to cancel it.
Nice.
I wasn't going to be able to concentrate on the rest of the show unless I said it.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll try not to mention Oshkosh again.
Got a couple people saying that Tim needs to smile. I don't know what that's all about, but Jenny Melton says he'll smile when he starts talking about dogs. All right. Let's see here. Just making sure I don't miss anybody.
I know Ashley said that it keeps kicking me out. She had to put the meow in there.
And a little bit off the paranormal topic, everybody is saying that Denise's eyelashes are banging tonight.
And once again, no mentions mine. But Denise deserves it. They're messing with her Wi-Fi though.
Yes, I had to change locations. You guys see him in the schoolhouse
Yeah,
tonight.
the haunted schoolhouse.
Yeah. Here's Tina.
All right, so all this has led you, and I know your love of dogs has led you to Potographs for Pooches. Why don't we get into that story? I think it's time.
This is where we cry.
Yeah, this is where we start crying and talking about puppies. And
Ready?
I gotta
Do it.
I gotta inject a little bit of humor in it. Otherwise, I'm not gonna get through the story.
No, that's fine. Please.
But yeah, I mean, it's kind of what I've become known for now, and I'm good with that. I've been on shows where they just introduced me as Murray's dad. They didn't bother with my name. So that was cool. The story goes back to 2006. I just bought my home, and I'd always wanted a dog, and I'd rented everywhere and just never really had an opportunity to get a dog on my own. I'd just gotten out of a relationship, and we don't need to talk about that because it's 15 years ago already. But I made up my mind I was going to get a dog, and I looked on petfinder.com, and I wanted a yellow lab. Came across a yellow lab mix, pit bull mix, and the story on him was that they had gone into his home and rescued him. We've got somebody trying to join us, I think. They had rescued him from a home. He was badly beaten, and I made the call and asked if I could come and visit him. He was 6 months old at the time. They tried to talk me out of it. He doesn't like men. The person that beat him up, or actually during the course of everything, they tried to rip his tail off. As awful
Oh my God!
His whole life, he couldn't wag his tail. But so I went to meet him, talked him into letting me go down there and meet him, and they let him out of the kennel, and he went the wrong way. Which is, if you ever got to meet Murray, that was like what he did. But then they turned him around, and this little puppy that wasn't supposed to want to meet me or see me ran to me and jumped into my arms, and the rest was history. And I brought him home, and I was going through a lot. I'd slipped into a pretty deep depression at the time, and got him home, and he started following everything that I was hearing. So as odd as that sounds, it made me feel less crazy.
Right.
Because another living being was experiencing what I was. And, he came in the house and he watched. I say watched, but he stood at the stairs and watched something walk up the stairs as if it was turning on the landing. And it was amazing. And a few months after that, the depression really got the best of me. And I remember sitting in my bathroom one night and going through my friends and my family and kind of just, this is why they don't need me here, and nobody would miss me. And as I was doing that, I felt something on my arm, and I looked down, and Murray had put his chin on my arm. And I crumpled to the floor. I grabbed him and I hugged him and I cried, and it was like, he needs me just as much as I need him. If I'm gone, then what the hell is going to happen to him? I couldn't do this to him.
Right.
And from that moment on, he wasn't even a dog anymore to me. He was more like a son. And just an incredible dog. And I'm trying not to tear up, but my God, it's hard.
All right.
We fast forward a little bit, and he was about 7 years old. And it was about 2013. I was getting more opportunities to and yes, Janice, he definitely did. He saved my life. And every day after that, I worked to thank him and show him how grateful I was. I was starting to get more opportunities in the paranormal because of the Paranormal Witness episode and getting a chance to speak at some conventions. And they give you this table and they're like, sell whatever you want. And I had nothing. And I just thought, there's probably something I can do with this space. And as Murray got older, his mortality started to hit me more and more, because in my mind, it was like, what do I do without him?
Right.
And that's how Potographs for Pooches was born. I just came up with an idea that, hey, we're going to take pictures. It's going to be me and Murray, and we're going to put his autograph on the picture. We'll charge $10. Whatever we get, we're going to donate to a local animal shelter. Real simple beginnings, really no goals. And eventually, with some poking and prodding from my good friend John Cassidy, we started doing Autograph exclusive events where we would bring in speakers, just like regular Paracon, and all of the tickets and everything after expenses, everything was donated to a shelter in the area. I've never taken a dime from Autographs. In fact, every event I lose money.
Yeah.
But it's not about me making money on it. It's about, hey, what can we do for the animals? And there was about a 2-year period where I was able to bring Murray to some events, and he ate it up. He was the perfect pooch. For a dog that wasn't supposed to like people, he loved everyone.
Yeah.
And everybody that came in contact with him, he gave them kisses. He was an affectionate dog. He was well behaved, so it was okay to have him at events. Mm-hmm. And as he got older, the thought comes into your mind, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
2019, October 14th, 2019. Unfortunately, he had a massive stroke and then went into a seizure and passed away at the age of 13.
Wow.
He was a good boy to the end.
Yeah.
The best boy. And just amazing companion, amazing soul.
Yeah.
And we've continued to do this Autographs for Pooches thing in his memory. If you see the hashtag Murray's Legacy, that's what that's about.
That's awesome.
Just try to continue in his name and do what we can to help animals. And, COVID kind of kicked our butt in 2020 with events. Yeah. We're sitting at $48,808, which isn't bad when you think, hey, we tried to sell pictures for $10.
Right.
So, things, like I said, we didn't have expectations. I didn't know how people were going to react to this. And then the paranormal field just put their arms around it and said, we're going to make this special.
Yeah.
I had somebody ask me, this week, what is the correlation between the paranormal field and Autographs? And, I don't get it. Paranormal field gave me this platform.
Yeah.
Like I said in the beginning of the show, the paranormal field has given me so much. I feel like I got to constantly give back to it because it has made my life so incredible.
Yeah.
I miss my boy dearly. We had a deal. I would tell him all the time. I was like, you gotta go find Grandpa, and you gotta let me know you're okay. Otherwise, I'm gonna come find you. And we both know what that means, and I'm not gonna verbalize it. But a day after he passed, I had 2 separate mediums contact me, and they told me, Murray says it's urgent. You need to know that he's okay.
Oh, wow.
I gotta go.
And he's absolutely incredible. My good friend April Roan, I don't know if you know her, medium. Yep. She lives in Texas now. Fantastic person. She communicates with him all the time. Every other week or so, I'll get messages from him. Yesterday, she was giving me messages, and I said, that's the best thing that's ever existed in my life was being his dad. And his response was, you were the best thing that existed for me and cheese.
Oh, that's a high honor. Okay.
So, yeah.
So it was me and cheese.
I didn't think.
But he is, and I started telling our story in 2012, 2013. I really opened up about the suicide attempt. I opened up about my depression, my anxiety, and the people that would come up to my table afterwards in tears and want to tell me their story, how their animal saved them. And it created this connection between me and so many people.
Yeah.
And, God, I could be in this paranormal field for the rest of my life and I'll never be able to repay it. I really won't. It's done so much for me personally in my life. So yeah, we're pushing forward with Autographs. we're hoping this COVID crap goes away so we can fulfill our events, our dates this year, and break that 50,000 mark. And I'm sure we'll all get together and cry that day because it's just everything we do is for Murray. You know, people say all the time, they're like, "Oh, you do such great things," and I deflect it because first of all, it's embarrassing for me. I'm really not good with compliments. And secondly, you know, I always said that, you know, Murray is the spokesperson for this. You know, I'm just a human that gets to tell his story, and it's an incredible story.
Yeah.
And I'll tell it until people tell me to shut up. But he's still well and good and with us and cheering us on. And like I said before, when we were talking about animal spirits, there's been plenty of times. Over the summer, I had some diabetic issues and lost a toe and all that good stuff. And I was in the hospital getting an MRI. And I remember looking down to my right and seeing Murray, physically seeing him, frantically running around the room. And I remember thinking, boy, this nurse is going to think I'm crazy. But I looked down at him and I said, Murray, it's okay. They're not hurting me. You can go lay by the nurse. And he did. And from time to time, I'll see him. From time to time, I'll hear him. He comes to me in dreams all the time. It was about a week and a half ago. I woke up from a dream. I was playing football with him. We were roughhousing, having a good time. And I woke up and had this big smile on my face. And then reality hits and you're like, oh. But then I look over and I still got Molly and I still got Ray. Ray, as she gets older, looks more and more like Murray, which is pretty cool. If she could start acting like Murray, that'd be great. She's a puppy, so trying to get all that puppy out of her. But she's a sweet dog. And then Molly's about 12 and a half now, and a little sweetheart too. And I actually got her from a Potographs event. We're doing an event in Houghton Lake, Michigan, for Silver Muzzle Cottage, which is a senior and hospice dog rescue. And they brought Molly along as a spokesperson or a spokes dog for the event. And I was sharing my chicken nachos with her. And she was my best friend. And Kim Scarrett, the lady that runs the shelter, she came up to me and she said, you know, you can take her home if you want.
Oh.
And it did. I put her in the car, and 7 hours later, I prayed that her and Murray would get along, and her and Murray were best buddies, and she was a perfect companion for him up until the end. So, I'm all about the dogs. I should mention before somebody calls me out, I do have a cat. His name is Bo, and that's about all the publicity he gets.
It's probably all he wants, though, so that's fine.
He looks at the rest of us like we're crazy, but
he's like,
whatever.
I've always been. I mean, I love all animals, but I've always been a dog guy.
Yeah.
Always. There's something about cats are awesome, but they really don't care.
I mean, they're kind of assholes though too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. They treat you nice when they want something, and then you don't see them for a day or two until they're hungry again, and then they show up and boop you, or you try to show some love back and they scratch the shit out of you. Or,
they're like the teenagers of the animal world.
Yeah. Give me food and get out of here and be on the way.
And don't talk to
I will say one thing about my cat. My dog, Chance, he's got cataracts, diabetes. So he can't really see. The cats will go up to him and they'll lick his ears so they know that they're there. And, they'll rub against them and everything just so he knows that they're still there for him.
Nice.
I was doing an event and a lady came up to my table afterwards and she told me about her cat, and she's like, my cat. She's like, my cat stares in the corner. And I read that litter box comment, Jenny. I'm ignoring it. My cat stares in the corner, and I think it sees spirits. And I just looked at her. I was like, sometimes cats are just stupid.
Tell me the lie. Where's the lie?
It doesn't mean it was Grandpa George. It's just sometimes the cat stares at the corner.
Right.
Yeah, our Lucy used to stare at the wall for absolutely no reason. Just like she'd crawl up on the couch, and our couch, the back of it was against the wall, and she would sit just facing the wall and just stare. And she'd catch me all the time because I'd start going like that.
I don't think they're stupid. I think they're just assholes. They're like, let's see what I can get this guy to look at.
Yeah.
It's a secret game they play. We just don't understand it.
Right.
Let's see if I can get this idiot to stare at the ceiling.
Yeah.
But I think dogs are interesting in the fact that, like, you were saying how Murray saved your life. They just know. It's just like, through all the hardship he had in the first 6 months of his life, for him to come to you, it's like he knew. You were his savior there for him, and maybe he felt that he needed to be with you. It was the same way with our Luna when we got her. She was abused, and when we first met her, she was going through a heartworm. She had heartworm, and she was going through treatment for that. So we weren't really able to like expose ourselves to her too much, be like petting her and stuff like that. She had to be in the cage. And we were told that she was a rescue. The people tied her outside to a tree. They were never paid attention to her. They ultimately left the house, moved out, and just left her tied to a tree. So she was like 2 years old by the time we got her, and she made it through the heartworm, and she just immediately warmed up to our family. She had no issues with me whatsoever. So it's just like sometimes that match is just there. It's like they know.
Yeah.
And it's just, I don't know. It's an amazing thing.
There's no, I am a firm believer that there's no such thing as coincidence. So everything that happened exactly as it was meant to happen. If you wouldn't have taken Murray, then who knows what animal you would have had that night in the bathroom, and how that animal would have reacted. He was meant to be there. He was meant to be there.
I've always said when I get a chance to talk about him is, he saved my life, and everything from that day forward is because of him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Without him here that night, I'm not here anymore. None of this great stuff happens. It all happens to somebody else. And so I'm grateful. There's so many words that just don't do it justice, but, I talk to him still, I'll love that boy to the end of time.
Yeah.
And, I tell my friends and my family, and I should also mention that, the last year or so, my head kind of cleared up, and I don't suffer from depression anymore. The way I did. I mean, I battled it for 12, 13 years.
Yeah.
And I feel so much better. I'm at a better place now, and none of that happens without him either. So,
right.
It's good to be able to smile. And even those people in the chat are saying I don't smile enough, it's good to smile and enjoy life. And, I just try to remember that none of that happens without him. And I'm eternally grateful. I tell my family and my friends all the time, it's like, if something should happen to me ever, don't be sad, because just know that is the greatest reunion ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
I'm back with my boy, and I'll miss them dearly, but it'll be a celebration. There's no reason to be sad.
Yeah.
True. That's a good way to look at it.
The pictures behind you?
That is that's some of the Potographs photos. If I move out of the way there, the one in the middle, just his face, is the Potographs for Pooch's logo. Quick story on that: I don't typically have a whole lot of good things to say about my ex-wife, but I will here. She was, she still is the photographer, and I asked her to create a logo for Potographs for Pooch's. And I told her, I said, I want this logo to be something that can last and the test of time. I want it to look like Murray's looking back at us through heaven. And she did a fantastic job. She's very talented. That ends the portion of the interview where I'm nice about my ex-wife.
Fair enough.
But, other than that, I mean, she was a big part of this too. I can't take her out of the history. She's the one that took the first set of photos and kind of created my vision, and And so a lot of this doesn't happen without her either, as much as I hate to admit that. But
Again,
yeah,
there's no such thing as coincidence. Everything happens for a reason. She
Right.
was there when you needed her, but
Yeah.
not
there
so
are
much
there are
anymore.
great, there's great people in the paranormal like Tim Woolworth, John Cassidy, Deb DeRose,
Yeah.
Dustin Perry, Tim Ryan, that have all been great supporters of Photographs for Pooches. And the events aren't as successful without them either. So by no means have I done any of this on my own. I've gotten so much help along the way. So I'm grateful to all of them, but mostly it stops and starts with Murray.
Yeah.
I was telling Goose there's a Sheldon Cooper cutout behind me.
Yeah.
He's actually wearing one of my Photograph shirts. I put one of those on him today.
Oh,
And then for you folks that live in Ohio, yes, that is the big house. That's Michigan Stadium.
I saw that. I was going to say,
Yeah. So we're
I thought that looked like a toilet bowl.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're supposed to be enemies, but we can still love each other, and then you can just whip our ass once a year and take it.
I feel it, man. I'm a Pittsburgh fan amongst Cleveland Browns fans, and I've been having to hide. No.
Yeah, well, typically that's not a bad thing. You're going to win one out of every 20. Yeah.
This
Go
is all
Browns.
new for us Cleveland Browns fans. We don't know how to react.
Yeah. Just let us gloat, okay? We don't get to have this very
I
often.
haven't-
So.
Hey,
And that is my
I will
witness.
say-
I have not said anything negative about the Browns. I am not one of those guys. I'm not one of those Pittsburgh fans.
Yeah.
I'm letting you guys have it. And honestly, it was a fun game to watch. I mean, except for my team stinking and blowing a big one.
Yeah.
But they didn't deserve to win that game. You guys definitely beat the shit out of us, and we deserve to lose.
I will say this, though. Cleveland going into Kansas City this weekend, I'm praying for all of you. I really am. I think that's going to get ugly. But
We got it. No, we
It's
don't.
okay.
as I sit here talking like that, the LA Rams are going to probably come in and beat Green Bay by 21 in Lambeau, and I'll be pissed for a week.
My wife, I married a huge Cleveland fan. My wife is a huge Browns fan, and she said she doesn't even care if they get any farther. This was
Right?
just getting in the playoffs and beating the Pittsburgh Steelers to get there.
Yeah.
That is their Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So, go Browns. Yeah, sure, and go Browns. Hey, let's keep it in the division at least, right? I'll stay rooting for the division now.
We lost Jenny Melton once we started talking about football.
Oh, Jenny.
Poor
Jenny. Dogs.
Dogs.
I love
We're back to dogs. Jenny.
Jenny, there's a puppy.
Yeah, we're talking about dogs. The Browns.
I love her.
She's awesome.
Oh, so can we get back to talking about Murray?
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
Sure.
I just wanted to say too that I think that it's super important that you tell your story, because you come on this show and you tell your story and you tell people that it gets better and that it's not always going to be that way. And maybe there's one person every time you make a speech, that's another life that Murray saved. So, I think it's so important. I think mental health is something that nobody talks about, and it's something that pretty much everybody struggles with in some form or another.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to say thank you for talking about it and being so open about it, because it's not something that people do, but it's very important.
I appreciate that. And every lecture I do, somebody comes up to me, and that's why I continue to do it. Funny story, not funny, haha, but I was at StilCon in Illinois, and when you tell the story 8 to 10 times a year at lectures, sometimes you kind of, well, at least in my mind, I kind of thought I was maybe losing the audience and they were sick of hearing my stuff. And I had switched it up for a weekend, and I just went strictly paranormal. And I had people come up to me afterwards and they're like, "Who are you?" Like, you have to stick with what you are.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You're Murray's dad.
And do what's important. And When I first started telling this story, in my first book, I went into detail about the night, and it was very therapeutic. But at the same time, you got to kind of relive it to write about it.
Right.
So it really messed with my head for a while. But telling that story and like you said, Denise, like reaching that one person, that needs to hear it. I do so many events in Michigan. I have so many great people there that support me and bring me into their events. And I will never, ever stand up here and say I have fans because my arrogance is not at that level yet. I have a lot of friends that support me. And, those folks, they'll fill a room and they've heard my story 10, 12 times, but they're there every time. I have to give credit to Scott Tepperman, formerly of Ghost Hunters International.
Yeah.
He came up with the term Potographs for Pooches.
Nice.
Scott and I are like brothers. If he wasn't in Florida, we would probably be neighbors. Fantastic guy. Love him dearly. He's been one of the biggest supporters of Potographs. He tells a story during his lectures. He followed me at Little Traverse Bay Parafest in Petoskey, Michigan, run by John and Jackie Cassidy.
Mm-hmm.
And I legitimately filled the room, and there was about 125 people in there listening to my story. And Scott followed me, and nobody stayed in the room. Here's the guy from TV, and he's sitting in an empty room, and he tells that story now when we do Potographs events, and I just laugh because it's funny to me. I've been at plenty of conventions where people don't know who the hell I am, and I'm speaking to 4 or 5 people.
Oh yeah.
But the goal at the end of the weekend is to deliver a lecture from the heart, and by the end of the weekend, they know who you are.
Right.
And they know what Potographs is, and they leave that weekend and not remember who Tim MAILE is. That's fine with me, but they're going to remember Murray, and that's the important thing.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it is so awesome.
Tim, we love hearing that story. It never gets old. I can imagine.
So I was trying to find it, but somebody did ask when your next book was coming out.
Oh yeah, that's right. They did.
Right now, I don't have anything immediately coming out. The last book came out in 2016. The next book that I'm working on is a story of Murray's life.
Okay.
And it's taken a while because I'll work on it for a couple of days, and then I'm okay. I gotta get away from this for a while.
Gotta take a mental break.
Yeah, and then I'll go back.
Emotional break.
But one of the things that Murray came through to April and told her was, "Tell Dad he's got to write my story." And I'm working on it, buddy. But it's tough, but it'll get there. I promise. But
that's gotta be hard.
So that one's coming out, and then Todd and I are working slowly on another paranormal book, and the first 2 books were so critically acclaimed, and the 12 people that bought them, I hate to make them wait, but no, I mean the first book was therapeutic because I just told my whole story from start to finish. This is who I am and why I am who I am. And the next book will be, after Murray. So, that part of the book will be in there, but yeah. So if you're looking for a book from me, it might be about a year.
There you have it. I think it was Jasmine who just said she can't wait for the next book to be released.
Oh, Jasmine's actually on my team. She could have just asked me that.
She wanted to put you on the spot.
Yeah.
I don't know that it was her that asked, but
no, Jasmine's a sweetheart. She lives 4 hours away from us and travels to do investigations on her weekends off.
Nice.
That's commitment to people that you don't know. So I'll give her a shout out while she's in here.
He's
Jeff
talking about
Tafflin.
your shirt.
This one right here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeff, you could buy one.
If you're interested, let me know. Yeah. Nothing better than Bigfoot with a proton pack.
Right?
It's just amazing how much
Awesome shirts.
it's amazing how much like dogs and animals like make your life so much better, and how much they follow you afterwards. Like I still feel my dog Allie put her head on my bed. Like it'll feel like it's like the blanket's going down, and I just look over there expecting to see her. She's not there.
Yeah.
And my cat will actually walk across my pillows on top like she used to, and I have actually like looked up there thinking my other cat got up there, and there's nobody there. So it's just amazing just how long they'll stay with you forever.
I've mentioned Ray a couple times here. Quick story. Sorry to hijack your show.
No, you're fine. Absolutely.
When Murray was still alive, I don't really go out of my way to tell people that I can hear and see things from time to time. I'm by no means a medium because I can't control it. I mean, I'll go 6 months without anything, and then all of a sudden, boom, it's there in my face, and you can't deny it. I had a vision where I was sitting on the couch looking at pictures of Murray, and I had a puppy in my lap, and I was telling him about his big brother. And what I took from that was my dad telling me it's all going to be okay. There's a plan. So when Murray passed, I wanted to go get a puppy, and the puppy in that vision, his name was Ray, because that's the last 3 letters of Murray's name.
Oh, okay.
That was my way of kind of having him live on. After Murray passed, one of the other messages he gave me through April was, tell Dad that if he's going to get a puppy, it has to be a girl because I can be the only boy.
Oh, geez.
So that's why Ray is a female, and her name is Rae. But I had to stick with Ray, and it's in honor of him. And like I said earlier, she's a puppy, and it'd be great if her big brother would come back from time to time and teach that little puppy how to do things. But yeah, she's the same breed as Murray. She's a pit bull. I work very closely, as you can imagine, with some shelters, and one of the shelters, Frosty's Fosters, Jason Drake got a hold of me, and he said, "Hey, we got a litter of puppies coming in from Alabama. They are lab pit bulls. Do you want one?"
Yeah.
And he gave me the first choice. He gave me all the pictures, and I took the one with the markings that most resembled Murray, and that's the girl I ended up with. And she is definitely a daddy's girl, and she's spoiled. And yeah, I love her to death. And I remind her every day that she has big paws to fill, and she'll never, it's unfair because I have expectations that she's going to be Murray number 2, and that's not fair because he was perfect.
Right.
But I remind her every day that she's still not good enough. I gotta put some humor in it somewhere.
Maybe work on that a little bit. Tell her she's a good girl. Maybe she'll believe it.
Oh, she is. She's excellent. She just a lot of puppy in her. She roughhouses with Molly, and Molly kind of looks at me like, "What'd you do to me?"
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean they love each other. They're good buddies. When I got Ray and brought her home, Molly thought she was her puppy. I kept telling Molly, "I'm bringing you a baby," and she cleaned her for about a month. Followed her around the house, and yeah, she was a perfect mother figure. And now Ray's like 3 times the size of her. Yeah, she got big. So yeah, she's much bigger than Murray ever was, which is fine. But yeah, she's kind of a monster, and she thinks she's a lap dog. But we're working through that.
I got a Mastiff that thinks he's a lap dog.
Yeah, that's probably worse than what I have.
Yeah. But it's awesome though, because I'll just go like this. I'll go, "Bring it in," and he comes over and he'll stand on my legs and let me hug him, and he'll just hold it back there. Yeah, he's cute. It probably wouldn't be good if he was like doing that to the kids or something, because they'd be smushed. But I like it.
Yeah, Ray at this point, I'm about 6'4", and she'll do the hug thing, and I'll do this, and she puts her paws like right below my neck, so she's pretty tall. But yeah, nothing near a Mastiff. But
yeah,
we after we got Luna, we had her for a couple of years. The lady who ran the rescue we adopted her from contacted us. It was actually Christmas week, and during that week, and this was years ago. But she shows us these two Springer Spaniels that she rescued. That she rescued them from a lady who bred them for show, but she was like 85 years old, and she did not let them out of their cages except to use the bathroom and eat. And then that's how they grew up. I mean, from puppies. All they knew was the cage. So he had some behavioral, I don't want to say issues, but he was definitely very skittish.
Mhm.
But when she brought him over to meet us, he ran up to me like immediately, and was just, but he would lay like very submissive.
Mhm.
But we would do this thing where I'd go like this to him, like I was almost like picking up my little kid, and he'd jump up like this, and I just lift him up and carry him around like this, patting his back with his paws over my shoulders and his
I love it.
Weasley?
Yeah, Weasley. Yeah, because he has like the reddish brown spots, and he reminded us of Ron Weasley. He almost had that same kind of quirky attitude about him too.
Nice.
But we love that dog to death. And then now we have, Luna passed away just earlier this year, and she grew up with this family. It was devastating for us.
Mhm.
It just, I think my oldest Piper was like, I think about 2 years old. About this right after we bought the house, we're like, we're getting a dog. That was like our first thing. Screw fixing the house. We're getting a dog. Finally, we have a home. We can have a dog. So we got Luna. She's a big old black lab. And she was with us. She was the best dog ever. Like, just totally laid back. She was a bit of a dumpster diver, table surfer, pulling all the food and just knocking over the garbage can anytime we walked away. But
she's at that height where it's easily accessible.
yes,
Right.
exactly.
It's a buffet for the dogs. It's even at the perfect height for labs too.
Yeah. I love them to death, but they have some issues that are just, you just knew when you woke up every morning there was going to be a mess to clean up, all over your kitchen.
Bella is Bella's 14. She, for the last couple of days, hasn't been eating her food. Okay, which I'm not okay with, but
right.
I've been trying to like give her extra stuff for her to eat, whatever. She's not eating her food, but she went into the garbage can and ate some wipes that my kids use to wipe their butts with.
Oh, that's the worst.
Are you serious?
Well, this took a turn.
Where'd things labs do and go?
I know.
When he had a cat, I could just say when Luna was younger, we didn't have to clean the cat box too often. She would take care of that herself.
Yeah.
I got to get to the cat box too because Ray thinks they're Tootsie Rolls.
Yeah.
I did want to mention the day that Murray passed, and I put it on social media. The response was overwhelming. I lost count. There was about 100 people that changed their profile picture to him.
Aww.
Oh yeah.
There were so many people that were grieving. I had friends that came over the house immediately, out of love and out of fear. Because they all knew my story. They didn't know how it was going to be, and but yeah, the outpouring of love and just the difference that a dog made. And I don't call him a dog very often. I usually say my son. The difference that he made in so many lives, and like Denise said earlier, you reach that one person, and that's another person that Murray's saved. And the events that we do and help save animals. We'll never really know the scope of his reach.
Right. And of those animals that you save, how many of those animals go on to save their own human? Right. It's a beautiful thing we're doing. Yeah.
Chain reaction.
Like I said earlier in the show, I'm just a really lucky guy.
Yeah.
This life most days is incredible. And I owe it all to Murray, but I sound like a broken record, but if you'd have told me when I was a kid I'd have this life, I'd said sign me up. I'm getting everything I want out of life, and life is good. So that's a good thing.
It is. I feel like you might have had something to do with it, though. I'm just saying it might be partially you. I feel like you're allowed to take a little credit.
I just, I'm the guy who gets to tell the story. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I'm real fortunate to be able to tell the story. And I'll take a backseat to him any day of the week.
That's how we are with our kids.
Yeah.
They are at the forefront. I mean, that their awards and their gifts are ours, and we always keep that in front because it's the most important thing to us. Oh, they're great kids because you raised them. No, they're great kids because they're great kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it.
A lot of talk about litter snacks in the there. Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, look what we did.
Right.
People always pick up on the weirdest things. That's why I love this show.
Right.
We rarely ever stay on topic and don't derail.
This is probably the most on topic that we've been.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I mean, it's 9:15. We stayed on topic for a long time. We did good.
You start talking about animals, we're all in.
Yeah. We lost Jenny with football.
Right, we did. She came back though.
She came back.
Yeah.
She came back. Yeah, well, usually we talk about our favorite paranormal snacks, not what our dogs eat. The weird, disgusting things our dogs eat.
Okay, that's true too.
Yeah. It was meant to be serendipitous.
I know, I love it. I love stories like that so much.
Chris, it always goes back to eating. Yes, it does.
Normally it's not about eating things out of a litter box, but
Yeah. So what's your favorite paranormal investigation snack there, Tim?
Yep, might as well get right into it.
Yep. My go-to is usually beef jerky.
My man.
That's where I go. Teriyaki beef jerky.
Yes. Yes.
And, when the diabetes kicked me in the butt, I had to switch from Mountain Dew to Diet Coke.
Yeah.
So yeah, Diet Coke and beef jerky. Every investigation we've ever done, Todd has brought a pack of Twizzlers.
Yeah.
So even though he's not here, I'll answer for him. I used to give him shit for it all the time. I'd be like, you never switch it up. And now it's just his thing. So yeah, he brings a big old pack of Twizzlers and
Hey, whatever works.
yeah.
Oh. Wow. Jenny's calling you out.
Apparently
I
not.
got a chance to investigate with Jenny. She was kind enough to drive like 3 hours to help us on a residential case.
Nice.
And she brought these brownies, and I'm like, I can't eat those. My sugar's and I hurt her feelings apparently because we're months later and she's still complaining about it. But I also should mention, I think Jenny is responsible for me being on the show tonight because she was the one that put me in contact with you and said, hey, why don't you give this guy a chance? And
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Jenny's been a great friend. I think I've known her for a year or two now, just through Facebook. Met her on that residential investigation, and just a ball of fun. And we have similar senses of humor, so we're okay if you just leave us in a room to talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually met her at the seminary. It had to be over a year ago.
Yeah, and I was supposed to. She wanted me to come up and meet her, and I don't know what was going on that weekend, but I missed my chance, Jenny.
She'll be back, right, Jenny? She'll be back.
Yeah, you better be back. You better bring brownies. I'll eat them.
I was gonna say.
But she honestly is. She's one of those people that I've met her in person like for a couple hours, but she's one of those people who's always like super supportive of everything we do. You know, she says duh. But she's awesome. I do love her.
Agreed. And I'll be waiting on that check.
She always has brownies. She must just travel with them.
Right?
Get that oven in her car or something. I'll bake a couple of fresh brownies on my way to this location.
No, with the pandemic and the COVID thing going on, are you guys still doing residentials right now, or have you kind of shut down until it's all settled a little bit?
We did them, and we did them as carefully as you can.
Mhm.
I didn't want to make people. I didn't want to make families wait.
Yeah,
Right.
sure, right.
And
Yeah.
I think we were one of the few teams in our area that continued to do investigations from, July through December.
Yeah.
We were busy pretty much every weekend.
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
So it was, we've had a break here for the last 4 or 5 weeks, and that's okay with me.
Yeah.
Because I don't have headphones on listening to audio for the full week. But, I love what I do, but it's nice to get a break once in a while.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell a family no.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
When they get a hold of you and they're like, hey, we got all these things happening. My kids are terrified.
Yeah.
We try to do what we can. And
By
no means are we perfect, but we try to be.
And I think it's interesting too, because I've talked to some other people and teams that do residentials and have been doing residentials throughout the pandemic thus far. And they said it's been extremely busy. And I got to wonder, everybody's spending a hell of a lot more time at home.
Right.
Yeah.
Like all of a sudden they're noticing things that they never noticed before,
Exactly.
and I wonder how much of that plays into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People have asked me sometimes, why are you not busy from May until July? Usually it's, well, people are gone.
Right.
Right.
They're vacationing. They're not paying attention to the stuff. And as soon as they're, especially in Wisconsin, as soon as it starts getting cold, everybody stays in the house. And unless you have a snowmobile, and I don't, so things are noticed more, and then they're asking for help. But it is nice to get away from it a little bit. As much as I love it, I love other things too.
Well, you could definitely, just like anything. I mean, it doesn't matter how much you love it, you can get burned out.
Yeah, you need a break sometimes.
Yeah. And especially if it's been that busy every weekend for months. It's like, I would have to take a break. There's times I have to take a break from the show as much as I love it. It's nice. Like, it was nice to have the 2 weeks off for the holidays, but I was super excited to come back, and I just reinvigorated, and you're re-energized and super excited again. It's just, you need a break from everything. I think it's mental rehabilitation for that short amount of time.
Yeah.
And sometimes physical. I always need a month after, between Madison trips to get my knees back together.
Right. There's a lot of stairs.
Yeah.
I need a month between any trip, man.
Yeah, since we don't do a whole lot of residentials, it's a monetary thing as well.
Yeah.
Get the cash together for the next adventure.
Yeah.
So when is the Potographs event this upcoming year?
Potographs for Pooches. It's actually Potographs Parafest 2.
Okay.
Potographs Parafest 1 was last year. It was basically memorial to Murray. I got up there and did an hour on Murray's life.
Wow. Yeah,
and we just cried the entire time.
Oh, good.
Then we raised about $7,700 that day.
Nice.
And so this year, March 5th, I think that's a Saturday. March 5th or 6th, whatever the Saturday is. I don't have the poster in front of me. I should. There it is.
Yeah.
There it is. March 6th.
We get that banner down for a second. There we go.
And those are the wonderful people that are going to be there and help us. Not pictured on the poster is also Keith Johnson, Carl's twin brother. He's going to be joining James and Carl on the demonology panel. Every one of those people up there donated their time.
That's amazing.
I have to give a shout out to Paul Bradford. I contacted Paul. I've been friends with him for years. He has not done a Potographs event yet. I asked Paul, what will it take to get you there? And he said, give me gas money.
Nice.
And then I got a hold of Cody and Satori through my friend Dustin Perry, and they didn't charge me either. Nice. So
that's awesome.
Everybody getting together for a common goal, and that common goal is let's raise as much money as we can for those animals. And if Michigan lets us to get together, we're going to get together.
Nice.
If Michigan governor says you can't have a gathering, well, then we're going to be angry, but we'll understand. Because the last thing we want is people getting sick
Right.
at an autograph event. First of all, because we don't want any of our friends to get sick, and second of all, it's a freaking PR nightmare if that happens.
Yeah.
So, all those things. I'm keeping a close eye on it, and I'm hoping as a nation, if I can say this, I hope we get our shit together by March 6th, and we're able to get together and raise money again and celebrate Murray, and just have a fabulous weekend. I mean, those events. This is as close as I'm going to get to tooting my own horn. Potographs events are so much different than a normal paranormal convention. A normal paranormal convention, everybody's there. They're there to see people, meet people, but at the end of the day, if you're at your table, you're there for yourself.
Right.
You're trying to do what you can for you.
Right.
And at a Potograph event, everything is about the charity. Everything is about the shelter. We have mediums that have a table and they give us a large percentage of what they made throughout the day because they want to help the animals.
That's awesome.
I got Dustin Perry running around hawking sweatshirts or t-shirts for me, trying to sell t-shirts. And if I could be nice again for a minute, you hear how great people are in the paranormal field. And I didn't know Dustin personally until about 4 years ago.
Yeah.
You hear about how sweet of a person he is and how great of a person he is. He's just as advertised. He's just a fantastic human being. He's a closet wrestling fan.
Yep.
So Mondays and Wednesdays we're texting back and forth. And while I'm speaking about it, Dustin was one of the first people to call me after Murray passed. To see if I was okay. So he's become a great friend, and so many of these people that step up to the plate and help us and do what they can because, I like to say because they love Murray.
Yeah.
I probably got a little part in that. But at the very core of it, it's Murray. And, but yeah, all these people getting together, to, hashtag Murray's legacy, continue it on, and just special. And then Ashley was in here before, Ashley Storm. Doing an event at Broken Bow Asylum in May.
Yeah.
We're going to be down there and raising money for an elephant rescue, which is a first for me.
Nice.
Okay, I was wondering.
I was wondering what you said you were going to take.
I know I saw the photo, but I wasn't putting one and one together.
Yeah.
Just talking about leaving with an elephant.
I mean, that's amazing. And then we have Illinois and we have Minnesota yet, and I haven't announced those yet. And,
oh, cool.
Right now our focus is on March and can we get together? And I'm still holding out hope.
Yeah, it's just so touch and go. I'm ready to get back out and get to these events and start doing our thing.
I'm ready to freaking hug people. Is what I'm ready to do.
Oh my
gosh. I'm a hugger. I broke the rules today at work. I'm a supervisor at work, and we have a lady that's her last day was today. She's retiring. And I walked up to her and I said, I'm going to miss you, Kathy, and I'm going to break the rules. And I gave her a big hug. And I'm like, well, hopefully you but I'm a hugger. If you've seen me at events before, that's who I am. I try to be down to earth. I think it's always, no matter where this field takes me and the opportunities I'm given, you always have to remember where you came from. And I'm no better than that guy that got into the field in 2008. So that's still me. I've told Todd, the guy who runs the team with me, I've told him many times, if I ever change as a person, you just punch me in the face.
Right.
Because I don't want that to happen. So he hasn't broken my nose yet. So I think I'm doing okay.
A lot of nice things coming about Dustin, like you were talking about. We had him on the show.
Yeah,
a couple weeks ago. Very, very cool.
Yeah.
I know he's quite the advocate for people suffering from depression, anxiety as well. So
I did. I used to do a show, and I had him on. We didn't talk about the paranormal at all. We had an hour. We had an hour about suicide awareness.
That's awesome.
Good.
We did that for an hour, and that's really what bonded us was that topic because we both talk about it. Actually, my friend Tim Woolworth, we were all at an event together. He walked up to Dustin, he grabbed me, and he said, "You two need to talk. You are more alike than you know." and that's how it started. And now there's a beautiful bromance.
Yeah,
Yeah, like him.
he's definitely a fun guy to talk to. I started watching his little YouTube videos, his inspirational spreading the positivity videos are pretty excellent. Make you feel good about life every time I watch
Right.
them. Jenny, I will happily punch you in the face. Wow.
Even Jasmine, like, I'll give you a high five.
There's an unwritten rule in our group that I get to slap Ray if he goes anything crazy.
Right.
I'm still waiting for the day.
I'm sure it'll come. It'll happen.
I'm very sorry for your loss, Chris. I read your comment.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, if in all of the people who have committed suicide, like what if somebody had talked about it with them? You know what I mean? I mean, I haven't been to that point, but I do suffer with depression and anxiety. And honestly, I'm very open about it. You know, anybody who's friends with me on Facebook, I'll talk about it. You want to talk about it? You want to know the crazy things that I do to get rid of my anxiety? Let me know. Message me anytime. I don't care. I think it's so important to talk about it.
The word that triggers me when I'm talking about that topic, because you get people that aren't open-minded at times. Mm-hmm. And I've heard so many times, "Oh God, that's the coward's way out." And you don't understand how long and how hard those people fought in silence to stay for as long as they did.
Right.
It's still a taboo subject, you know, to talk about, and it needs to be brought out into the light.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, I was ignorant. You know, when I first started sharing my story, I didn't know it was going to affect people the way it did. Tim Rian is in the room here. He had me out for the Old Mill Parafest, and it was a very full room. It's the most people I'd ever spoken to. And I got done with my lecture, and I had been taking questions off to the side with people and didn't really pay attention. I got back to my table. I had a line out the room waiting to talk. And that's not supposed to happen to me. So it was a little intimidating, but at the same time, every one of those people wanted to either talk to me about their experience or their animal. And, you know, it's times like that, you realize just how much good your words can do.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So I kind of feel like it's my duty to continue. Like you said earlier, Denise, you know, I have to continue to share the story and also share the fact that, you know, things are good for me. I have a clear head now, which means you can get through it. You really can. And, you know, I always tell people all the time, if you need somebody to talk to, I'm here. And I'll talk to you as long as you want me to.
Yep.
Yeah.
I might have kids screaming in the background, but if you need to call me anytime. I don't care. You know, it's such a rough subject, and I hate for people to feel embarrassed to talk about it, or, oh, I don't want to bother somebody. You are not bothering me ever, or Tim, or Goose, or Mike.
And the people that say that you're bothering them, those aren't your friends anyway.
Right. True.
those aren't your people.
I mean, right. When you're depressed, you feel like everybody's bothered by you. You know, it could be your own mother, and you're like, oh, I don't want to bother her with my problems. You know, it's.
Right. I used to use the word burden. You know? It's like people are just sick of talking about this with me because, you know, there were some very dark times, and at that time you don't really think about talking to anybody about it because you're kind of caught in your own world. There were days where I would, and you could probably relate to this, Denise. There are days where I would sit on my couch and I couldn't even get myself to shower on the weekend. I didn't know why. You know, I got to go get groceries, but my brain won't let me do all this. And then before you know it, it's like 7:00 and I'm like, well, I should have went and got something to eat.
Yeah. And then you're like, God, I'm such an idiot. I wasted my day. I'm worthless. Like, you know, it's just a constant cycle. And even if, you know what, even if people don't call me or, you know, they don't reach out or whatever, I just feel like it's important to say it out loud. You know, so when somebody's sitting there and they haven't done anything and it's 7 o'clock at night, they don't feel like, oh, it's just me. I'm worthless. I'm this, whatever. Like it's just a side effect. It's not you, it's not your personality. It's a side effect that so many other people feel. And there's so many times where people feel like they're alone in feeling that way. You know, postpartum depression is a huge one for me. It's something, you know, how can you have this perfect little baby and be unhappy? You know, and so people have this guilt, like I shouldn't feel this way. There's something wrong with me. No, there's not. It's your brain, and it happens to like most women who have kids. But for some goddamn reason, nobody talks about that. Like, why? That should be one of the first things you tell new moms. Like, hey, look, you're probably going to get really upset, but it's not you. You're fine. You know.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say I can relate. Like, I mean, I've said it before on the show. Like, I'm bipolar, so I mean, I go into deep, dark depressions. Like last week, I almost quit the show. Like, I was just like, I don't think I could do this anymore, you know. But then, you come out of it, you know. And I kept saying I should just call Ray or Denise or talk to somebody about it. But I was able to bring myself out of it. But yeah, it goes dark, and I'm not afraid to talk about it. I've said it on the show.
Yeah.
It's just, and it's hard. It's hard to talk about it because yes, you do feel like a burden. You feel like everybody's just going to think I'm like complaining about something.
Right.
Yeah, and I've just been recently pretty open about things that I've been dealing with as well. I mean, I just had a couple rounds of therapy myself. You know, just being able to.
I think therapy is amazing. Honestly, I think everybody should go to therapy. Just because it's so nice to have an outsider to talk to who's not biased, who doesn't know your husband, who's, you know what I mean? Who's not going to be like, oh no, he's right, not you. You know what I mean? Like, it's just nice to have an outsider to talk to. I think therapy is great. I think everybody should go.
Honestly, I feel like there's some issues that Denise needs to talk about with the group here. Your husband's not right.
You know what I mean? Like you don't want to talk to people because, or maybe you guys are friends with my husband, and so I don't want to say anything bad about him, but I'm feeling a certain way. You can go to this person. You could say whatever you want. Yeah. Anytime I've gone to therapy, I walk in, I sit down. They say, so what's going on? And I'm like, you can just tell them everything. You can tell them everything, and there's no judgment. There's nothing. Everybody should go to therapy. If you're thinking about going to therapy, go.
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 The way I used to describe it when I was having dark days is I would say I would wake up and my brain hated me and I had no reason why. Mm-hmm. I just woke up and my brain said, you know what? You suck today, Tim.
Yeah.
And we can't give you reasons as to why you suck, but you suck.
Yeah.
And you battle with that all day. And there just came a time when I fought with it. You know, you just fight it all day and you know that it's not going to win. And you get through that day, you get through the next day, and you realize that you're going to have a couple of good days after that. Yeah. And my message is always just keep fighting. Don't let it win. We got Kathy was in the chat room here, and she had some very nice things to say about me. That was the lady I was talking about earlier, the lady that retired today.
Oh, okay.
So she joined in to listen to the show. So
how about that?
Cool.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Kathy. Enjoy.
People from my work used to listen to the show.
Our team members are pretty much done. And I say team members,
they don't come out here at all.
It was. I mean, more than half of our team are actually his coworkers. So people that he's brought on recently from the place that he works at. So yeah, they're all kind of sick of us. They don't listen to us anymore.
Kate will listen to here in the garage with me most of the time. Yeah. I think she's working right now, but
yeah, she chimes in every once in a while though.
Yeah.
Corey said, "Let it out, Denise."
I guess it's only fair because earlier in the show I did complain about my ex-wife. So we all get a turn.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes the show we just have a short event about things that we see, you know, in the paranormal community. You know, it's just just you got to let those feelings out. I mean, you got to do it a little professionally when you're live streaming on Facebook in front of tens of people. Tens of people.
Dozens of people.
Dozens of people.
Let me tell you what's in my brain. We have nobody else left.
Right. But I mean, Michael and Denise have been there as soundboards for me when I've had problems come up. They've been victim to my 10 o'clock at night rants and problems. I think it's one of the reasons. I think it's one of the reasons we all work together so well. It's just we're there for each other, and
or we're perfectly fine with, which needs to be more normal too, is just, you know what, I'm in a funk today, I can't do that, I'll do it tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you just can't. Sometimes you can't get off the couch, and that's fine. Just take a day, you know. But it's fine to be upset, and it's fine to be angry, and it's fine to be whatever you're feeling. But the important part is just not staying there, you know.
Yeah.
So we'll have a bad day, and we'll tell each other about it, and then the next day we'll get back on with our business. It's fine.
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah, I've mentioned Todd a few times in the show. Todd Arnold helps me run Fox City's Paranormal team, like brother. He's my soundboard. Like, I mean, he and I have a bond. We're very close. I'm one of those people that I never leave a house and never leave a hug without telling those people that I love them. It's just been a rule of mine, because I don't want something to happen and the last words I tell them not be "I love you."
Right.
And me and Todd, I mean, Todd's married. We're very masculine men, and every time he leaves, he comes up, gives me a hug, and we tell each other we love each other, and that's the end of it. And until the next time we see each other. So that's important too. Like, don't keep any of your feelings in.
Right.
You know, don't feel like you have to be ashamed of any of it.
Right.
You know, those people are in your life. You know, those people are in your life because you do love them. You care about them. So what's the harm in telling them, you know?
Right. Right.
And I think it's interesting too, doing what that we do with the paranormal. I think the one thing, since I started being more vocal about depression and things like that, the one piece of grief that I get from a lot of people are, it's probably the ghost hunting. It's got to be what you do. You're in a deep, dark place talking to dead people, and you know it's evil. And I'm like, no, that's not it. That's not it at all. If it wasn't for this, it'd probably be a lot worse. I'm just telling you.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I don't know if that's happened to you guys, but like, I'm to be honest, my dad brought it up with me. He's like, "You sure it's not that you're going into these dark, scary places and trying to talk to dead people that's making you depressed?" I'm like,
I'm pretty sure it's kind of balance in my brain, but thanks.
Yeah.
Not considering I've had this my whole life. So
Right.
But I mentioned it earlier in the show. You know, when I talked about that case that was on Paranormal Witness, this field made me a better person.
Yeah.
You know, if you guys would have met me in my early to mid 20s, you would have hated me because I was self-centered. I only cared about myself. And I was a different person. And now it's like all of these things that I have going on make me care about things. You know, I got into an argument with my vet last week because they made a comment that I was neglecting MAILE because their records were wrong. And I got so offended by it, and I told him, I'm like, some days the only thing I give a shit about is my dogs.
Right.
Like, so if you're gonna tell me, I almost pulled the "Do you know who I am?" I kind of dedicate my life to this stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
And you're gonna tell me that I'm neglecting my animals. But I put something to the effect on Facebook. And the vet was just pounded with messages, and they called me the next day. And they're like, "How can we make this right?" That's the beauty of having 5,000 people.
Yeah,
I shouldn't say they were pounded with messages, but they saw the post, and there was enough people that were saying negative things that they reached out to me, which I appreciated. They didn't have to do that, and everything's cool now. But yeah, I was upset for a good day.
Oh, I bet.
And but like I said, everything is all right.
Did they tell you? Like, how did you know that the records were wrong?
Well, they left me a message that I couldn't get her prescription refilled because I hadn't schedule the wellness exam like they told me I had to, but they never told me that. And
Yeah.
in the same message, they said, we haven't seen Molly in over a year and we need to see the animal to make sure she's well taken care of. And I'm like, what are you implying? So yeah, she'd been there 5 times because she gets her nails did. And then she also was there in September to get blood work done, and they changed her medication. So I didn't understand any of it. So yeah, I was angry, but we're good now. I love my vet, so please, people, don't contact them again.
Those are fighting words.
Yeah. Kelly's in the chat. She's like, I don't talk to dead people, and I have depression. I'm not laughing at your depression. I'm laughing at the fact that you don't talk to dead people. Yeah, I went to high school with Kelly, so we're both old. And if Kelly ever needs anybody to talk to, she can always bend my ear.
Kelly's 29. I don't know what you're talking about.
She's been 29 for a few years.
That's how it goes.
Yeah, I think in general, women stop aging at 29.
Yeah, my birthday's coming up. Guess how old I'll be?
Yeah.
29.
I personally like using it as an excuse to get out of work that I don't want to do. Oh man, I'm 43. I don't know if I can handle that anymore. I can't be pushing that lawnmower around anymore. Come on. My knees are back. I'm old.
It's time to give in.
Tylenol every night before bed.
Kelly, you're not old. He is. You're fine.
You said we're not old.
Physically, I feel old, but mentally, I'm still, 20 something. I think.
Mentally, I'm 12.
Me too. I will tell you, at 45 years old, I still laugh very hard at farts.
Yeah.
It's like the funniest thing in the world to me. Even if I walk into one and I get a mouthful, I still laugh. And I don't think that'll ever change.
No.
I don't know what that says about me.
I'm so thankful that I didn't have girls. Like, I have 3 boys, and I am the perfect mom for 3 boys because, like, I laugh just as hard as they do at fart jokes and stuff like that. Like, I couldn't do the girly stuff. I'm good with the fart jokes. That's up my alley.
We're a pretty open fart family, My daughter belched actually right after dinner. So I started laughing hysterically. My wife's just looking at me like, "You too."
It's funny.
It's funny because she looked at me and smiled when she did it. I'm like,
right?
She added that extra.
Okay, here, my sister taught my kids to take a straw. You take the long part, and then you put the L into your armpit, and you blow in it. Oh my God, it makes the best fart noises ever. Heisenberg, I know you're going to try it after the show. It's amazing.
Dude, I was worried about where you were going with that.
Yeah,
story.
I was scared where that straw was going.
I was like, what the hell is going on?
Where are we putting the straw? I don't want to be in that game.
Seriously.
Oh,
try it.
Jasmine brings up a story. It's a funny story. It was 5 days after Murray passed. We had a Potographs event scheduled, and we went through with it. And it was in a small town in Wisconsin, so there was a lot of family, friends there. And Todd and I were doing our presentation, and I was fighting to get through it. It was emotional, as you can probably imagine. And we got to the question and answer part, and this poor lady sat forward and bent down to grab something off the floor and just rumbled off of this aluminum chair. Just the loudest fart ever. You couldn't. So I was just like, you know what? I needed that more than you will ever know. Thank you. And the whole place was just in laughter. We didn't know who it was until Jasmine came up and told me afterwards because she was yeah. Wow. If you listen to the first half of the show, you're like, hey, this guy knows what he's talking about. You listen to the second half, and you're like, wow, he's a child.
That's how our show goes every week.
One of our manic moments.
All the ladies in the chat are 29.
Yep. Why not?
Every one of them. Hey, if you're in the chat and you'd like to attend the March 6th Potographs Parafest too, you can go to photographsforpooches.com, hit the events tab, and then check that out and join us there. And
yeah, we'll post some links too on the page.
I will say this: if for some reason we can't have the event, you will all get your money back. I'm not going to keep your money, so don't be worried about that. But yeah, we'd like to sell the place out if we can, to the point we can sell it out. I understand, even if we're the event is in Houghton Lake, Michigan, which I think is like 5 states away from you, Kelly. Sorry, I'm reading the comment section.
You're fine. And it's March in Michigan, so you can't exactly do it outside.
I'll throw that poster back up real quick too for a bit.
Okay.
I'll get that stupid banner out of the way.
The sexiest thing about that poster is Murray.
Yep.
That was actually at a Potographs event in Michigan in Petoskey. It was for his 10th birthday. John Cassidy and Jackie Cassidy bought him his own cake.
Aw.
That's awesome.
He was a rock star that day. But yeah, come join us. We've only got 3 tickets left for the investigation on Friday, so that's selling well. And then Saturday, we've got room for you if you want to be there. They got a special rate on hotels. And like I said, right now we're at the mercy of Michigan and what they decide a gathering is. How many people we can have. So, and again, I'm not complaining. I understand. We want to keep people healthy.
Right.
But I also want to be able to do this Potographs event. So it's a balancing act. I understand the situation we're in.
Right.
I also understand that no matter what I decide with this event, I'm going to make somebody angry. If I do cancel it, you're going to have a certain group of people that are going to be upset because I caved. Right. And if I don't cancel it, you're going to have a certain group of people that are going to scream that I'm being unsafe. So I'm damned if I do and damned if I don't. And I just hope you understand, the reason behind the event and don't attack the messenger. And and if they attack the messenger, that's fine. You attack Murray, you've just created an enemy.
Yeah, right.
Several.
A couple enemies, actually.
Yeah.
So how can people donate if they can't go?
At photographsforpooches.com, there is a donate tab on the event page. And anytime you donate any kind of money, it goes to the next event we do. So whatever shelter that is. This time it would be the Silver Muzzle Cottage in Rapid City, Michigan, I believe is where they're located. It's a senior and hospice facility for animals.
What an amazing person.
Yeah.
To run that.
Yeah,
I don't think my heart could handle it, honestly.
That'd be rough.
Kim Scarrett is a wonderful person, and if she listens to this, I'm not hitting on you, Kim, but I would marry you tomorrow. She's a fantastic person, and just such a wonderful, wonderful person to dedicate her life to the animals like that. And one of the reasons I deflect all this praise I get is it's easy to go in and raise money for a shelter. It's hard to run a shelter. It's hard to do the day-to-day stuff. Take care of those animals. So the real people to thank are the folks that go out and in the field and save the animals. I got the easy part. I just get to tell my story about my boy. Yeah. And, that's what I get to do. I couldn't do what they do. My heart would break every time.
Yeah. I don't think I'd be taking all of the dogs home, first of all.
Right.
And if I worked at a shelter, no, all of them. Me.
I don't think I can foster an animal like that too, because I'd be like,
no.
Nope, okay.
No, my wife has looked at my wife is constantly looking on Pet Finder at different rescues and stuff. Look at this little girl, and it's like a 10-year-old lab. I'm like, I can't do that.
Yeah.
I can't. I'm sorry. I mean, I could do young, like 2, 3, maybe 4. But when they get, I don't have the heart to do it anymore. I just,
Yeah.
It's rough.
I'm going to try to change your mind, buddy. About 7 years ago, we adopted a 13-year-old black lab.
Wow.
She had been dumped by her family because she was too old. She had 11 months with us.
Yeah.
and she was the most amazing dog and wonderful. And
Yeah.
it hurt like hell when we had to put her. She had developed a brain tumor.
Oh, geez.
And it hurt like hell to have to put her down. But that 11 months she got, otherwise she would have been sitting in the shelter.
Yeah.
And it hurts so much. But at the end of the day, I mean, when Molly leaves, Molly's 12 and a half. Hopefully I got a good 3-4 years with her yet.
Yeah.
That girl has carved out a place in my heart. She's also daddy's girl. And that one's going to break me when she goes. She's a sweetheart. But it's nobody prepares you for the heartbreak.
No.
Yeah.
No, whether it's 14 years or 2 years or 2 months, it doesn't hurt any worse or less.
Yeah.
I know that.
Like 14 years of pure happiness and so much sadness at the end.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we only had Weasley. I mean, we got him when he was, they think he was around 2-ish, but we only had him for 4 years before he passed away.
Wow.
So it was rough, and he was my boy. Like we all loved Luna. She was the family dog, but she was definitely more my wife's dog. You know what I mean? She was a mama's girl. Weasley was totally dad's dude. He's my little buddy. He followed me everywhere. I could feel his nose on the back of my leg all the time. Or else, you know what I mean? And I love that dog. But now, the dog we have now is a little 9-year-old Yorkie Poo who's brought a completely different aspect, just full of energy, and she's a lover butt, but she's got this weird quirk. She's just the yapping. Oh my gosh. Anytime she knows when a delivery truck is driving by, like she can hear it from about 2 blocks down.
Yeah.
And she's at the door staring, just waiting for it to drive by so she can bark at it. And just the amount of energy she has is just total opposite from Luna, who was fine just laying down, laying down. Every once in a while she'll go play and we'll take her out for a walk and, get her some exercise, but she's just all over. But we love her to death. I mean, when we first bought her, we weren't sure, or we didn't buy her actually. She was another rescue. A friend of mine's mother, they raised, they bred Yorkie Poos for show, and they had gifted the runt of the litter to one of their nieces or nephews, and they were not taking care of it. And my friend already had 2. She couldn't take care of it. She had met Luna at one of the events that I had, a fundraiser event I had, paranormal event for MS. And she's like, do you want this dog? She needs to get home. I know you guys could provide that for her. So on our way back from a Disney trip, we stop and get this dog. And she was just so scared of everything. I think by the time she got home, she was just so into us. A 2-hour car ride, and she was our dog. Took a little longer for her to warm up to me because I guess she didn't have a great male interaction experience. But it took my wife and kids being gone for a whole weekend for her to finally warm up to me. Every time I'd look at her, she'd be a little bit closer, just staring at me. So I go about my business, and then I'd look, and she'd be a couple feet closer.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, I felt the paw on my knee, and I reached over real slow, started scratching behind her ears, and it was love. So it's just nothing better than the love of an animal. I love it.
Sure.
And like Tim said, it can be life changing, and it changes everybody else's life that is involved with it or hears the stories. So Tim, thank you so much for sharing that with us.
Yes.
It's been a pleasure. This time went by quick.
I know.
Right?
Yeah. So all of our guests are great. Sometimes though, that 2 hours is just not enough.
Right?
And this has been one of them. I mean, we just could sit here and talk about our fur babies forever.
I will say this is the first show that I've teared up on.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I have that effect on people.
He was over here going, "Don't cry."
Right? Well, you got those sweet eyelashes on. Don't cry.
Yeah. I was worried about you.
I want to thank you guys for giving me the opportunity and letting me talk and
Absolutely,
getting to share my story and I feel like we all got to know each other a little bit better, and going forward, you probably won't be able to get rid of me.
That's fine, man. Absolutely. Yeah. And you're definitely, I mean, I'm going to throw it out there. If you ever need help with the event, let us know. We'll do what we can from where we are, try to get out there. And
I'll take you up on that. I got a good buddy of mine, Brendan Shea, is also at the seminary.
Oh, we love him.
And he was trying to work with me on doing an event there, and it never worked out, but maybe we can try again. And
just message the page.
But I know we're getting short on time. I don't want to take it up all the time, but
do you want to say anything else before you go?
Yeah.
No, I just want to say thank you. I want to say thank you to the three of you, and thank you to everybody that listened tonight, and everybody that supports Podographs. Means the world to me. So thanks.
Yeah. Make sure you guys share the shit out of their flyer on their page. And
yep, I'll be posting it up. We'll post it up on our page and on the RU Media page right after this, and get that moving. And I thank you for being on. And man, I hope the event happens this year for you. I mean, for Murray, you know.
And if not, I hope that people don't ask for their money back.
That's what I was going to say.
I'm just putting it out there.
Yeah, I wouldn't want my money back. I'd be like, go ahead and keep it.
Keep it. Donation. It's going to a good cause. So
I know you can't say that out loud because it's not PC. But I'm telling you guys,
there are so many things that I can't say because I have to.
Just let us know. Let us know. We'll say it for you.
At the end of every show, it always comes to this: don't be an asshole.
Don't be an asshole.
Don't be an asshole.
That's going to be on our next T-shirts, just so you know.
Spook you later, crypto heads. Don't be an asshole. But Tim, thank you so much for coming on. Everybody who was chiming in and joined the chat. We had a lot of new faces and new people in here talking to us tonight. Jenny, it's great to have you in the chat room tonight. Thank you for watching. Janice, Kathy, Justin, everybody, Eddie, Uncle Coguio, Tony Santori, just everybody. Thank you for tuning in tonight. As usual, we will be back next week, next Thursday night. We got Spooky Babes, the cast of Spooky Babes coming on. Stormy Daniels, David Childers, and Justin Loop will be on. That will be an interesting show. We cannot wait. It'll be fun. It'll be different. Excited.
It'll be better looking than me. So
so we're super excited about that. But more, even quicker than that. Well, we just announced last night that we're having a special after party show. Our good friends at Dead Republic Paranormal are releasing their documentary Good Will Hunting, the Wilson Castle, right here on RU Media this Saturday at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. The documentary itself is at about 11 hours. Holy crap. 1 hour. Well, that's a long documentary. It's about an hour and 15 minutes. So we're hopefully should be on around the 11:30 hour. We're going to have the cast. We're going to have John Ward, Marcus Hogg, Matt Warner will be joining in. Hopefully Hillary Ward, if she doesn't have to go to bed. We're not sure how long it's going to be. It's going to be whoever's in the chat room and wants to hang out and talk about the show and ask the questions.
Is that not tomorrow?
No, it's Saturday.
It's on Saturday? Oh.
No, I'm sorry. Oh my God, it's tomorrow.
Is it tomorrow? Okay.
Yeah, tomorrow. Yeah, I'm losing it. Sorry, guys. Tomorrow. I'm a day ahead of myself. I always think tonight is Friday. It's not. I don't know.
Yeah. Wilson Castle, anyways, is beautiful. So make sure, even if you have never heard of Dead Republic, watch it. It's going to be amazing. They're great people. Very excited.
They already released a documentary last year, Sleepless in Salamanca, which you got to check out. And Good Will Hunting is coming up tomorrow night, not Saturday night. So, Crypto Heads, thank you so much for tuning in. We will spook you later. Have a great weekend. Tim, again, thank you so much for being on.
Thank you, Tim.
Friends forever now, buddy. You can't get rid of us.
You got it.
All right, we'll spook you later, everybody.
All right, bye, guys.
Bye.
Have a good night.